Good morning, everybody. To all of you that have been sending me comments and good wishes, I want to thank you for bringing smiles and sunshine into my heart. It's much appreciated. And also, one subscriber, Donna, who actually lives fairly close to Salmon Arm, she gave me a recommendation to look at a video of somebody else who's in the Netherlands. And I went there and I was so impressed, and he started his channel about when I did, 2015, and he where I have in the home orchids, and I'm raising mine differently, not under temperature controlled conditions. If you have a lot of species orchids or a lot of orchids, go look at his channel. It is the Orchid SaGa, the Orchid SaGa. He's in the Netherlands, and he's very innovative about his approach, and I really liked it. And if I was younger and about to got more orchids, I would be impressed. He has different growing methods. I like his medium, and who knows, I might even just try it with my way. But he has a beautiful setup. He's a nice person. And I want you to go check out his channel and see what you think. He's definitely got lots of species, and they look very healthy. So check that out. Now, this morning I want to talk about pots for your orchids. Some of you wonder what you can put your orchids in, and different situations call for different things. But I'm going to share with you what I found out about different pots for this situation. Most of the time, our humidity is not that high, especially all winter when it's very dry because we're in the house. And then in the summer, it's hot, and it can be a little humid, but not overly humid, even though we have a big Shoutout lake just out the window. So let's just talk about pots. Now, if you're short of money, but you sure want that orchid, this pot has been a nursing pot for me. I've used it to start orchids. Why? Because I can keep my eye on them. I can see how the roots are doing. And it's just an old Tupperware container that Jack drilled holes in. Now, plastic is fairly easy to drill holes, and most people can do it. But if you don't have a husband that can drill a hole, I'm sure you can find a neighbor, a relative, or somebody, and presto, you have a pot. Now, this pot is my nursing pot, so none of my orchids are put in a casing like another pot, except this one. I have a couple planters that I put my nursing pots in. It helps when you put your pot inside another pot. The main thing that does happen with that is they're not getting as much light, but if there's more space around that orchid when it's in the pot, it will get more light. If it's fairly tight, it's not getting a lot of light, and you can put it in a see-through container. But if the pot on the outside is solid, it's not getting a lot of light. So I do have a little more space, and what happens? It holds the humidity in a lot longer. So often when I'm nursing an orchid, I put it in this pot so I can see it. I can check the roots, and it's also getting more humidity because 99.8% of the time my orchids have come in moss, and I have changed them to either straight bark. Sometimes I have lava rock in with the bark. I've tried many things over the years, but that's a whole other video. If you want me to get into that, let me know. So this is the orchid that I'm watching because I got it just late last year, and it had that long tubular funnel-shaped leaf, and I think it's going to send up its last terminal spike. I could be wrong, but it is being nursed and it is being kept in here because it's a newer one. So I'll put it in its little pot over here. So that's one choice of a pot that you can use if you really can't find anything. Now another choice is, now I picked these two up at garage sales, and this little one here, it's beautiful. 95% of my orchids are in spike and bloom. It's wonderful, especially with all this snow. So anyway, what this was is, I'll see if you can see the bottom. See the bottom? I was at a garage sale and there was a tea light in there. It was not a flower pot. And I do have a roll of matted, you buy it in a roll, cocoa fiber. And so I thought, well, I'm going to try it. Every cocoa fiber basket I've tried in wire have done really well. Why? Because there's lots of air circulation. No, you can't see the roots, and yes, they do often peek out like this. I don't mind that. I love seeing roots, extra roots coming out of the pots. So if you go to garage sales or thrift stores and you see something like this that's a tea light, very simple pot, costs $1. And same with this one. This one was, ooh, there's a big hole in the bottom. There's a hole in the matting in the bottom. And this one here, very happy also. And this is one where I only do it if I feel I have a real healthy plant and enough leaves. And I have let, this is the old spike from last year, and it did flower quite nicely. And this is the new one from this year. So same thing, it's just a cocoa mat, and it has been very, very good. So there's another thing. And it's not just these baskets. Any wire basket you have and you want to be creative, they seem to really like this. They do hold the moisture pretty good, and air can get in. Bonus. I never put them in another pot. I never changed their watering from the 1 day a week all winter and the 2 times a week in the summer. One of those waterings in the summer is a 5 to 10 minute soak. The other watering is just, sometimes just the hose ran over them, where I put them all outside and then run the hose on them, let them sit out there in the beautiful air, and then bring them back in. So there's your cocoa matting. I'll just put them back here. And then I had a very nice subscriber send me these wire baskets. They come lined. Now you can buy them different sizes on Amazon. And they have just been beautiful. Now this is a little orchid that I got from, where did I put the label? Must have fell off. It's supposed to be there. Okay, look. It's probably in the pot. Is it in the pot? No, it fell off. This is SaGa Vivian, and she's a little caloric orchid, and I may have the name a little bit wrong, but look at her. She was changed from moss to bark. She now has 2 flowers, another bud coming, and she's very healthy. And she's got a good root system, and I can show you in the pot. She's doing very well for a tiny little species. Oh, I see something in there I want to share with you. Now, can you see way in there on this side? I see some scale. Whenever I see that, now I quite often will use a Q-tip, but I'm just going to dip that in my water that I just spilled on the table. And we're going to go in there and we're going to wipe them off. Now, there we go. See? This is what we always have to look for. And every once in a while when I'm watering, I find some. Now, you want to always check. A really good light really helps with that. So now I'm just going to check the other leaves and see. Everything seems fine. Okay. You know, if you keep them under control, I've never had a bug disease of any kind that has gone so bad I couldn't control it. So if you watch every watering, and especially in good light, then you can catch these things before they become a serious problem. So I don't know how I missed that, but I did. And the other surprise, so these are very good pots. They get lots of air, and my orchids have done good. Now this is Mini Mark. Now she was so tiny when I got her, and we went into the pot and checked her roots on a video about a month ago because I was worried her leaves were looking a little sad. And the roots were excellent. There was lots of them, and I was going to trim back the spike and just let those leaves with the growing season coming, and I still may in a while. But I wanted to see the flower because, you know, I don't have many species, and I was so surprised to see her spiking. So I'm going to enjoy them for a while now that one is open, and I'll show you. But I still want to see these leaves this growing season get real healthy. But she's beautiful. Look at her. I'm so happy. So she's also in the matted baskets. And I want to thank Marianne because she got me started on these. She's a very devoted comment person, and it's so much appreciated because, you know, as you know, I don't want money things coming through my videos. I do this for fun, and part of the fun is definitely getting comments. And one good thing about me, I can't say I'm very good with a lot of things, but I can type. In school, I learned to type, and I'm fast. So comments are easy. I can almost type as fast as I can think, and that's not real fast either. You know, I'll tell you a little story. My brother's a year older than me, and we're very close. And when he was in grade 1, he always used to read his little school books to me. Oh, quick, I have got it. You have to wait. This video is probably going to be too long. But that's part of the fun. You never know what Carol's going to do. Do you see these books? How many of you remember these books? But wait till I tell you what happened to me. I get into grade 1, and of course my brother, he would sit there and read these books to me all the time he was in grade 1. And me, it seemed I was good at memorizing things, but not too smart. I learned to tell the time slow. I learned to tie my shoelaces slow. And I was in the slower programs in school, and that's another story. But I want to tell you, so I get in grade 1, and I got all through to almost the end of grade 1. And we used to sit on our little chairs, and the teacher would say, okay, you read, you read, you read. Well, Carolyn had a pretty good memory with things that, I always liked pictures. So I would see the picture and, Run, Spot, Run, and Dick and Jane, and I would see the picture, and guess what? I remembered every word, and so when it was my turn, I would see a picture like this, and I'd go, I knew what was under it. I got almost all the way through. I have the report card that says for my mom and dad to go in and see the teacher. Carolyn isn't reading. Carolyn hasn't learned to read. She's been reading pictures. And nobody knew till I got a book I never knew. So I probably learned something on the way, but anyway, I passed on trial out of grade 1 because of that, and it slowed my reading down for years. They probably should have failed me. But anyway, oh boy. Anyway, that's a story I told you. So anyway, yes, I recommend these. And these are cheap. They're on Amazon, but the only thing is, when I hang these, I hang them on something where I can put a drain tray underneath. Or, when I go to the thrift store, I look at these kind of things. You see them all the time. People had fondues, bowls, things they got rid of. And I just set them on a bowl. And I have a lot of mine just like this. They drain easy, they get good air supply. And of course the way I allow extra humidity is I have them on a bowl with water underneath or a dish. So, I have quite a few like that, and it took me a while to figure this out, that I even like them like this. This was a thrift store, just sitting in there. Water underneath, gets humidity all around it on the dry times, and it works good. So you always have to think out of the box. But those are all working for me. And then, of course, I started using the traffic cones, and they're plastic. Jack drills the holes in them. Some are 1/2 inch, some are 1 inch, or 5/8 maybe. And I paint them because they're just those traffic cones you see out, and he cuts the bottom off where the stand is. And I love them. The orchids just love them. All of the ones in the traffic cones, they just get once a week watering all winter and twice in the summer. They're just in bark. They do very good. So some of these I found at garage sales, so I got a lot of them. I like them. They're very decorative. I get to have fun painting them, and I have a lot of them, and they've done really well. And I don't want to throw any on the floor. And this is a traffic cone, but a smaller one. Very healthy. And get the rubbery traffic cones, because they seem to like those better than the hard plastic ones. I do have some hard plastic ones from the dollar store. And then I just find any little container that I think they'll look nice in, from toilet paper holders like I showed you in the last video, to anything. You'll be surprised. you think out of the box and all kinds of ideas. But I'll show you the dollar store one. Now, this is a species, this is, I guess, my longest, oldest species, Fel Memoria Valreti. Now, Here But Not had one of these. He had some trouble with his too. It took me a while to realize what they like. They are, I say, treated more like a slipper orchid. And I did get them from a place that's gone out of business on the coast. And all they raised was slipper orchids, but this is the only one that I found that was different. And she struggled for a while until I found out that she likes to be not in the direct sun. She likes to be in a corner where the light isn't getting her directly. And she's been very happy. And I think she's basically a summer bloomer. And this is she's getting lots of leaves, so she's doing much better. So I'm expecting some nice flowers from her later this year. But this is a dollar store plastic cone we drilled holes in. And it doesn't hold the moisture as good as the thicker ones, but it does serve its purpose, and it seems fine for her, and she gets no special attention. And the other orchid thing, and these are very good, I have quite a few of these. Yes, we're enjoying these orchids this year. I got quite a few, and I let all the roots come out because I like to see them. And these do very well. They have really good air supply. They're more expensive. If I see them at a thrift store or a garage sale, I pick them up, especially the large ones, because I find the small ones usually mean an extra watering for me. I have some in the extra ones, but I still like them. They serve a very good purpose, and they're very beautiful too. There, and the other thing we tried, now, I like the shape. Now, this is something I had for years, and I've tried all kinds of things, and I wasn't happy with it. And I said to Jack one day, do you think that we could drill a hole in this plastic pot? I'm just going to take it out of here. I think. I don't want you to be witness to a big crash. And he said, well, it'll probably break. And we had some close calls. There's some... But he did drill holes. This drains really good. It gets treated the same as the plastic traffic cones. Jack is coming from doing snow. And do not put it in the direct sun because glass will heat up. Now, if you have an interesting glass pot you want to try for a traffic cone, look at this. Let's look at the advantages. Now, watering day was Wednesday. You can see the roots. They're happy in there. There's growth coming out of holes. So, is it working for a pot? You bet. I think I'd do it again. And you can see, for those who like to see the roots, but you just can't put it in direct sun because it will cook them. But it's very good. It holds humidity in nicely. It gets treated the same as all my other pots once a week. So as you see, I have lots of different pots, and I'll show you a couple more. But the most important thing that you can't blame on the pot is you need air supply. They love air supply. Now, some people, they grow in water and do good. That's great, but they still need air supply. And lots of them, you'll see the roots are coming out and growing free. Those plants are living off a lot of those roots that are just in the air, getting humidity and what they pick up from that. So now, you found a glass pot and you think, I know no one that will drill a hole for me. Well, maybe a glass place where they cut glass, somebody like that might be able to do it for you. So you get out your phone book and your telephone and you start hunting. Because to drill a few holes, you have something. I haven't used this container. I've had a rubber traffic cone in it, and I was so happy. And if you remember, and it's a while back, I found a artificial plant in a beautiful stand, and it was in a glass thing like this. So there may be another one in the future. Right now it's on the patio, but oh, something could be happening to that. Now, the other thing you can do, say you're going thrifting or garage sailing and you find a beautiful lamp. I was at the thrift store and I saw this lamp, and it's terracotta and it's upside down. The light came out the bottom. Jack cut off the base a little. There was a base there, and he drilled holes, and I love the Asian look of this. And then I found a little brass fondue stand that it fit nicely in, and it's been in here, and it's very happy in here. So there are many, many different ideas for pots that you can do and play at being decorative. Just have a favorite. Even if you have a lot of orchids and they're all growing in the same way, does not mean you can't take one that you kind of like and play with it. Now, I did with this. This basket's been sitting around. I actually broke a bit of it and glued it back together. But I wanted to play at having a bunch of little ones that weren't doing well. And I think next year I'll get full bloom, but they're still adjusting, but the roots are happy and they're doing very well. I always let the roots come out when they want to come out, and they're doing well. Now, the last pot is this one. This is a dendrobium. This is a normal plastic pot Jack drilled holes in. And I went to the dollar store. It was the Dollar Tree, and they had these little trellis things, and I bent them in a curve and I tied them together because it helps keep this dendrobium very happy. This is Oriental Smile Fantasy, and of course she was in the greenhouse when everything froze out there, and that's another video. And she seemed to survive where the other one froze. Some things survived, some didn't. I don't know why, but my goodness, she, you know, they like a little cold to flower. She has more blooms coming than I've ever seen on her. They're coming on old ones where ones hadn't come. We're going to have a real beautiful orchid. So here we are, just a plain plastic pot. So you don't have to spend a lot of money for your pots. Have some fun with them. Have fun with life, especially in this winter. Now today, just before we go, I have to show you out the window because we've had snow, 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 but my goodness, it's beautiful out there right now. So I'll just take this out, and I have to put everything away. Okay, I have to show you because it's been dark and dreary and snowing, and Jack just come in. He did the driveway so nice, but look, just
that's ice under there.
That's ice under there, he said. It's cold. But look at the beauty. It is beautiful. It wasn't. It was dark and dreary and snowy, so it's nice to see the sun. Makes you feel so much better. And even the birds are coming out to play. There. Thanks everybody. Keep those comments coming in and share this video. Have some fun. Love you all. Bye for now.